How much money would it take for you to guard what some people call the door to hell? $1 million? $100,000? A lifetime supply of Taco Bell? While we don't know how much they're getting paid, that is exactly what Miles Teller and Anya Taylor-Joy are asked to do in this 2025 Apple original horror film, The Gorge. The Gorge is a 2025 action-adventure horror romance brought to us by Scott Derrickson, director of arguably the scariest movie ever made, Sinister. It stars Miles Teller in his first foray into the genre, and he plays an elite sniper who has been headhunted for a super-secret mission where he's asked to guard a mysterious abyss with pretty much no information. And on the other side of the Gorge is his Lithuanian counterpart, another elite sniper played by Anya Taylor-Joy. The film also stars Sigourney Weaver, who is no stranger to the genre. She is the headhunter who recruits Miles Teller's character, so basically the one keeping all the big secrets. The two are told not to interact with each other at all, but boredom leads to us spending most of the movie watching them develop a long-distance relationship despite this massive gorge between them, and eventually the two accidentally uncover the secret behind the gorge. I personally was glued to the screen for most of the film. It does a lot with little dialogue, and eventually we get some really interesting and creepy creature design. The main plot is very straightforward and maybe holds our hands a bit too much as we begin to pull the curtains back on this government conspiracy. The plot also feels a bit rushed towards the end, and viewers who regularly complain about endings being too vague will probably complain about this one being too happy, because that's just how online criticism works these days. I am an absolute sucker for badass skydiving and base jump scenes, and this movie has a few of them, so very nicely done. The movie is carried by Miles Teller and Anya Taylor-Joy's acting as they draw the viewer into their unlikely love story. I could have used a bit more FaceTime with Sigourney Weaver, but that's neither here nor there. The mystery behind it all makes the movie worth watching. I don't really like to be impacted by online reviews, so all I'll say is before I went online to see what others thought of the movie, I looked into the future and I could see this one living on people's top 15 list at the end of the year. And if it helps you make a decision about watching it or not, it's also Apple's biggest movie release ever since the streaming service came online in 2019, so it's a pretty big deal. Lots of good numbers, apparently like 80% increase in viewers since the movie came out. So yes, very much worth the watch. I personally think that The Gorge got robbed of a theatrical release as it was just released on Apple TV Plus and nowhere else. And I'm personally, I'm not a huge promoter of Apple as a whole, but you can get a 7-day free trial to the service to watch The Gorge, and then quickly unsubscribe before Apple gets any more of your money. Have you seen The Gorge? What did you think of it? Do you also wish that you could have seen it in the theater, or is that just me? This is a fun one to watch alone with a significant other or even a group of friends, so I guess pretty much in any situation. It's everything you would expect from a movie combining horror, sci-fi, romance, war, action, all into one little bundle, and Miles Teller and Anya Taylor-Joy ensure we have a good time until the very end. Thanks for being here with Nonstop Horror, where we talk about horror all year long. My name is Cameron. If you want more movie reviews, you can click up here, or YouTube thinks you'd enjoy that movie down there, so feel free to click on through.